Hello, welcome back to Average Gamer Plays Factorio. Now, there's a couple of things to report on since I last made a recording. The first one is that when I was playing my sandbox game, I'd actually turned off a lot of the graphical settings. I've now turned them back on again. This is partly the reason why the game looked so different when I upgraded it, when it upgraded to version 1.1. Kind of two things happened at the same time. I came back from sandbox into the main world and the update happened, and I thought the way it looked different was due to the update, and it wasn't. It's because I turned off things like decorations and particles and smoke and things like that, and I didn't really notice that until I started running out of power. And I noticed on my, let's go into the map, on my nuclear power plant, it wasn't showing any of these smoke particles, so I wasn't sure whether it's working or not, but it turned out that I'd missed a couple of pipes. So this set of steam boilers, heat exchangers weren't getting any water, they weren't producing any steam, and none of these turbines on this corner were working. So it was only producing 3/4 of the amount of power it should have been producing. So I fixed that, and I've now got 1.1 gigawatts of power instead of sort of, because this was starting to run out, because that was sort of hitting the sort of 690 megawatt limit that the power plant was actually producing. I've left this running. I've filled in all the belts, and it was building and building and building, and the poor little train, the building train, was coming backwards and forwards and just dropping off like 25 blue belts a time, and it was just taking forever to get built. But it has been built, and it is now producing modules. This one for, let's just move up a little bit into the middle, this one for productivity modules has now produced 354 items. This one for speed modules has now produced 373. And because these are now, every time you produce one, it goes into this provider chest, and then a bot would come and sort of pick it up and place it where it needs to be placed. So there's a lot of these little flashing lights, because it still needs to place an awful lot of these modules in the current plant. It's placed all the productivity modules, so they are now just building up. I've still got the little module factory running at the main base. I occasionally just sort of ran back there and picked up some modules myself and just placed them back in, or just let my bots place them back in. But now that this is starting to ramp up a little bit, once the modules kick in and the productivity ramps up, you can start seeing a little bit about where it might be a little bit sparse. See, this one down here, we're not producing any green circuits down here because it's not getting any copper. All the copper is being filtered off. Now, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It's very, very much a sort of fluctuating thing. These plants don't work at the same speed and the same level of productivity 100% of the time for some reason. There's slight fluctuations, maybe a sort of bit of overproduction in one area leads to more consumption in another area, leads to a lack of resources elsewhere. So it is a little bit of a fluctuating thing. And of course, as we're producing the modules and it's filling it in, the actual nature of the factory is changing, because the items are being produced at different rates all the time. So we'll wait for this to finish filling in the modules and getting up to full speed. Now, I initially had 4 smelting lines of copper and 4 smelting lines of iron, and I was running very, very low on copper. So what I did was I cut this line down here. Let me just run around to it. I cut this line here, drained it of the iron, and fed another line in for the copper. So eventually what I did was went back to the mine. I changed this balancer to a 6-to-5 balancer, but we're still fast transport belts. I think these are still red belts here, aren't they? I might need to speed this up to get blue belts on here. It might well be that yeah, because these aren't full coming in here. But we shall see how it goes. Eventually, I mean, it all depends on how big my main factory gets, but you know, this factory is going to be working full tilt to produce all the modules, but as more and more of the factory gets built, we'll have more modules in use and less of a requirement for new modules, but you know, we'll see how it goes. Down here I've only got 2 of these plastic lines coming out because it's enough at the moment to just power to feed the plastic in down here. They are actually, no, maybe it isn't enough anymore, because this is, last time I looked it was enough. Now it doesn't look so much. So let's feed another one through. Now I've got my sulfur line down there, so I'll have to sort of weave my way around that a little bit. But I can. Well, not so much weave my way around, but that's a little key. So let's feed that in, and we'll just get that to sort of go up on this line, and that should then fill that up a little bit more. Yeah, that is still feeding through. So we want these I filter those to the right. Yeah, looks like we definitely need more. Definitely need another line coming in. And of course these lines are, yeah, I was in 2 minds whether to merge these lines together or keep them separate. If I merge them together, what's the best way of doing that? Let's just try something here. Let's put that there. And we might then find ourselves in a situation where I might just have to actually build some more modules down here, more factories down here making plastic. I mean, these are producing 4,898, 4,900 a minute. when they're working at full pelt. So a belt is 2,700. Yeah, so 4,000 whatever a minute can go on 2 belts. And say there's still the occasional little gap on there. But it's very much a trial and error process. In fact, let's just get the bots to help me with this. It's a lot quieter. So at least now we've got kind of full rows of plastic coming in. We still need some more green circuits. Let's try and filter. Right, have I got as much copper coming out of here? I probably haven't actually, because there's some gaps on the line there. We're still needing a few speed modules there, but that's not going to make a lot of difference. I think the main thing is the gaps on the line coming in. So let's upgrade all those from reds to blues. Okay, so let's have a think about just splitting off a line from there. Feeding that in. So even then, alright, that is now... That is not enough. What if I cut that off and have that all completely going in that direction? These copper... These are very greedy. Oh, there's a few sort of trickling down to there. Not as many as I'd like, though. What if I take the output priority off that one and just have them going 50-50? Do we get more green circuits coming out? We might do. See, these machines have actually produced this one here. If you have a look at that, 67,000 green circuits already it's produced. This one here, 45,500. So it goes through an awful lot of circuits. This one down here, 60,000, 59,000 really, 62,000. So it does use a lot of green circuits. If I have a look at the production statistics, we have produced 3 million green circuits so far in this game. So if I've redirected that, see there's still more copper that we can have down there. it is still working. Have I got... there's still plenty of copper on this side. I think I might just need to feed a third line of copper down here and then just have less of it going the other way, because there's a lot of copper. Let's just have a look. There's a lot of bits. These lines, they are both still moving, but not as fast as they could be, I don't think. But, you know, these... Yeah, it's not getting enough really, is it? And all the greens are sort of coming down and coming back up here. Mind you, I mean, even then, yeah, we're saying it's not enough. I mean, these are a little bit starved. I mean, I can sort of filter... filter those out a little bit more. I'm not using those red circuits for anything. I can manually place red circuits, actually the green circuits as well. So I'm not getting enough green circuits coming down. That should fill those up a little bit more. Yeah, that is... So there's a whole line of green circuits there that's been blocked off because of the way that I'm filtering these down. So I could do with... Yeah, that's getting that moving a little bit more now. See, I'm filtering everything up to this top line just to filter it back down to the others. I'll have to play around a little bit. I'm making it up as I go along, basically. I am completely making it up as I go along. The upshot of all this is I am actually making the modules. So it is actually working. It may not be working 100% smoothly and 100% efficiently, but it is working, and that is the main goal of what I'm trying to do here. So we've still got 139 entities, 139 beacons basically. Is missing 182 modules. Now that number was up near sort of 700 or 800 when I started, so it's certainly, you know, working its way through everything. That's fine. And they will get there. Now I'm going to have a think about what I'm going to do next. So the power situation is that we are almost using all the power that this nuclear power plant provides. So yeah, none of those miners have run out yet. So do I want to build a second nuclear power plant, which to be honest should go up very, very quickly? I think I've got enough materials in stock for it. Or do I start building a solar farm? And at the moment I'm tempted to just put down a second nuclear power plant. So let's just have a look and see what we've got here. So Control L I think does my Infinizoom mod. So we have a blueprint for nuclear 8 reactors, and I might still need to tweak and update this if it turns out that the blueprint itself is missing. And I'm not that bothered about... We'll try and get it lined up. I think that goes there. All these pipes. Make sure they don't interact with existing pipes. Let's just move it down another one just to be on the safe side. Now then. Is it covered? If I go onto the map and then have a look at the logistic network, it is not quite covered by the robots, the roboports. So let's put a roboport down over there. That'll be within range of power. We'll need another one. Get my keys on, get my fingers on the right part of the keyboard. Q. Put one down over there. We'll see how far we get with that. Most of that is now actually covered. We'll put another roboport in. Squeeze another roboport in. No, I don't think we can actually fit one in over there because it didn't fit. I think we can squeeze one in over on that side because of where the that's interesting. Oh right, it might be that the blueprint didn't have the provider chest and the requester chest or whatever to feed the nuclear fuel into it. but it is still getting built, and it's getting built reasonably quickly. Now the point is, I know. Come out of the way. I'm stuck behind. Come on. Ah, now I'll have to get rid of. Yeah. Yeah, some of these old power lines were in the way, weren't they? Right. I know that. Zoom out a little bit. We're putting a lot of stuff on the building train, and I'm not actually using the building train for nuclear. So let's go over to the building train, and we will nick all the steam turbines and heat exchangers and everything off that. Wander back down again, trying to avoid the railway line because you never know. Ah, it's over on this side. Okay. I placed the blueprint the other way up from the previous one. Okay, not that it makes any difference at all, really, I don't think. All that get used up. Right, so what are we needing? 64 turbines, 11 heat pipes and 5 nuclear reactors. Come on. We'll need some offshore pumps. We need, yeah, 11, so we'll not pick up all those. Nuclear reactors. We don't have, because I starved this of red circuits back in the day. So that now needs, yeah, it needs 500. Don't have any on me. That will get through them eventually. So it looks like we're going to be building a nuclear power plant, and then we're going to be waiting ages for the actual nuclear reactors for it. C'est la vie. But that will be fine, and it will start, it will come online when it's ready. Well, once I've plumbed it in, basically. So we'll just wait for that to come on out of the way. Right, we still need 7 heat pipes somewhere. There they go. We need 1 filter inserter and 64 turbines and 5 nuclear reactors. Right. Don't know if I'm making filter inserters. Yes, I might be making filter inserters on them all now because I need to be putting them on the train. So there's one of those. How many of those did we need? 64. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Right, there's 70 there. I think it's prioritising putting them on the train before feeding them anywhere else. Got to be careful when running around. I don't want to get run over by the train. Right. And we just need that 1 filter inserter, which I think goes over there to feed the stuff in. And in fact, we can take out these those lines because we had them. We had a requester chest and a provider chest there, I think. Did we have a provider chest? What did I do? Yes. That's okay. I'll fill in the request for that later. I don't want to start requesting this stuff until we've actually got enough nuclear enough nuclear plants to actually get them all working, but I do want Roboport now. Come on, retreat. Put a Roboport down over there. That is powered. It is within range. We can take up this Roboport over here. Right, so we need to make sure that we've got water coming into all of these. So let's something like so we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 offshore pumps. Where are we going? Where are they? They're here somewhere. That's the normal pump. There they are. Hiding. Right, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, just doing a couple of. Seems like I can. Okay, that side is all full of water. Don't need these pipes over here because they're not coming in from that side. And again, we don't need those pipes over there because they're not coming in from that side. They are, however. Actually, that should be. Let's take all that up. And again, we've got yeah, we'll have to do that for sort of over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do something like that. Come on. if I have to build another nuclear plant down here, I will tidy these pipes up a little bit, because although it can just sort of go a little bit further down, can't it? We can just leave a bit of a gap. There you go, that's going to go underground and then back up again straight away, but you know. It works. Okay, that's now got water, that's got water. Ooh, we're built. Yeah, we're not missing anything. Right. That is going to... the whole thing needs... right, that one just needs power. That one needs to request 50 of those. Now then, why are we only producing 900 megawatts instead of 1.1 gigawatts? Some of these aren't. See, all the water should be... don't think it makes any difference how big or small the body of water is. That's 99.6, that's 100. Each of these should be... yeah, that's 100, but it starts to sort of come down quite a bit, so there's not as much water coming in. So that's only 17.4, that's 35, 82, so we might need... let's put that in there. Let's put a pump in there and just so that's bumping up the water a little bit there. See, these have perked up a little bit now. We're producing 1.1 gigawatts. Bots coming in here, providing the nuclear fuel. So that is now building up temperature. So this should all start coming online very, very soon. So then I'll start looking into doing some solar because I said I would. And I know it's relatively easy and relatively quick to build a nuclear power plant and just get it up and running like this. But it would be nice to sort of try and take advantage of all the different features that the game has to offer. He says playing without biters and without pollution, but there you go. Now I had these trains. I don't know if I was recording. Probably was. If it turns out that I wasn't, because I'm still a couple of episodes behind in terms of sort of editing and uploading, but I will explain what I did with those iron trains in due course if I haven't already. Now, if we want to start making a solar farm, let's have a look at the crafting recipe. So these are solar panels, copper plate, steel plate, electronic circuit. They're fair enough. Accumulators need iron plates and batteries. Now we need yeah, so it's going to be quite a big drain on electronic circuits, and the batteries need iron, copper and sulfuric acid. So right, so we've got the batteries sort of coming in down here to make flying robot frames, haven't we? So we've got batteries, we've got steel. Those are flying robot frames, aren't they? They're not batteries. Right, okay, so let's have a little think. Get out of the way of that. So we need iron plate and battery. Copper plates. There's iron plates. There's batteries. We're not bringing in any copper plates. I might just sort of feed. There's some copper up there, which I'm still using to make all these nuclear power plant stuff, but that's fine. Okay. So let's just put down an assembly machine. Where are they? There. Put one down in the middle over there and say we're making solar panels. Copper plate, steel plate, electronic circuits. Right. How many do we need? 15 electronic circuits. Right. So we'll have those. Let's completely spaghettify this. Steel plate, electronic circuits, copper plate, we need some power. Ooh. Put that into some existing power. So then we'll have those outputting into a red chest, and we will have basically sort of Lots and lots of those. Right, accumulators. They need iron plate and battery. So we've got iron plate up there. We've got batteries over here. So let's get I've not got any other I don't really want 50, I just want 10. I only even want 5. Right. I'll put priority to the right and we'll filter it for where are they? Batteries. Wiggle that round. Lots of those as well. Now then, we will need lots and lots of these. So let's nick some modules. Right, can't have productivity in those, but we can have speed. We can't have productivity in those, but we can have speed as well. Okay. So let's build another little train. And I might do this in the next episode. So what I'm going to do is build a train that's just going to have one loco and one wagon, and the wagon is going to be very much sort of similar to this, but it's just going to fill up with solar panels and accumulators. And I'm going to run a line out to here in the desert. I think I shall start building this out in the desert. I don't mind sort of building over a few resources and whatever. I'll start building it next to this line here actually, and yeah, start building it. I'll do another sort of spur off. Actually, I'll do another spur off here, and I'll put down the blueprints for the solar panels sort of in this huge area here. And I don't mind sort of going over these ore patches. That's fine. Yeah. we'll do that. We'll build the we'll cover the desert with solar panels, and I'll start doing that at the next episode. And we shall see how far we get. I might need to sort of bump up the production of the solar panels quite dramatically, but let's have a little look at the power. Yeah, 2.1 gigawatts, that's now online. Plenty of power. And we should then start being able to plan out the... I need to start launching some rockets, get some rocket fuel and some low density structures on the go. Kick off the research again, start doing some space research, build up the mining productivity, and see if we can just start expanding and expanding and expanding. But this is all sort of working quite well at the moment. So yeah, I'm liking this. It's chugging along. Now, once the module factory has finished populating itself with the modules, I will then start loading them onto a train and bringing them back to the main base. So they will then be available as part of, and I'll turn off this little module factory that I've had going over here for a little while, and then I'll, as and when I start putting down more factories and using the building train to build those, it'll be able to get the modules. The modules will just sort of run forwards and backwards, you know, from here down to here, and be stored in the main base with it, all the other items. So yeah, we'll start expanding. It's all going very nicely. And with all that said and done, it's time for me to say, see you next time.